So welcome to this ongoing seminar on Lord Balaramji. We're just taking a small break from the regular flow of the Bhagavad Gita classes. Every Wednesday we have the Bhagavad Gita class which goes systematically verse after verse. But on the auspicious appearance of Lord Balaramji, Balaram Jayanti that we are celebrating this Saturday, the celebration has already begun through the flow of Hari Katha or Krishna Katha. There's great benefit by hearing the messages from the scriptures for the person who's speaking, for the person who's listening, for the person who asks questions. Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Trim Punatihi Vaktaram Prachakam Shrotram Yatpadam Salilam Yatha. The Bhagavatam describes just like the place where Ganga originates, the place through which Ganga flows, and the place where Ganga finally meets the ocean. All three places are pure. Similarly, the place where Hari Katha, the Ganga of Hari Katha originates through the lips of the speaker, where it flows through the assembly of the listeners, and where it enters the heart by sincere, submissive inquiry. All three get equally purified. So therefore, we render the service of speaking, we render the service of hearing, but please note, all this is taken as service only when we are awake. When we doze off, we don't get any benefit. This Krishna Katha has also a lot of benefits simply by hearing. Since we live in a world where we don't do anything without knowing the benefits that we would get by doing it, Shukadeva Goswami very beautifully describes the benefits that we get by hearing Krishna Katha. Yasyam vai shrunumanayam Krishne parama purushe bhaktir utpadhyate pumsam shoka moha bhayapaha. By hearing Krishna Katha, there are three things which happen. One, Krishna who's seated in the heart as Paramatma, he makes it a point that he cleanses your heart. Now all of us want to cleanse our consciousness, right? Cheto darpana marjanam. We understand with at least basic humility that we need purification. And there are a lot of unwanted emotions in us which needs to be cleansed. So Krishna says, if you simply hear Hari Katha, the anarthas in your heart, don't worry about them, I'll clean. Hridayantastoya bhadrani vidunoti suritsatam. I myself I'll clean. The second effect of hearing Hari Katha is that three things are destroyed. Shoka, moha and bhaya. Shoka means lamentation, grief, hankering. Moha means illusion, and bhaya means fear. All of us have all three emotions in varying degrees, and they take us away from Krishna. So the second effect of hearing Hari Katha is that all these negative emotions are destroyed. And the most important, the third effect of hearing Hari Katha is bhaktir utpadhyate. In our heart, the seed of bhakti is nicely watered and nourished. That's exactly what we want, right? We want to be pure devotees of the Lord. So there are two things which are important. One, uprooting the weeds, which Krishna says that he would do. And second, the growth of the Bhakti Lata plant, which Krishna says naturally will happen. So all that we have to do is hear. When we align ourselves to the messages of the scriptures, everything, all auspiciousness come. Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hoy. Simply by hearing about Krishna, everything becomes auspicious. So on that note, let's continue our discussion. Till now we have been speaking about the different pastimes of Balaram. Day one, we spoke about the significance of Balaram Tattva. We spoke how Balaramji, he serves Krishna in Vrindavan. He serves Krishna in the state of neutrality. He serves Krishna in the relationship of servitude. He serves Krishna as a friend, as an elder brother, and also as an Anga Manjari in conjugal love. He serves Ramachandra as Lakshmana. He serves Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nityananda Prabhu. Yesterday in our class we discussed the birth and the childhood pastimes of Lord Balaram. And today that will be exactly the platform from where we will continue. Is everybody ready? The time is always short on a Wednesday class. The Sunday class is, I think we have 1 hour on a Sunday class, but on a Wednesday class, we hardly have 30 minutes. So if I can keep you all awake for 30 minutes and you all bear me for 30 minutes, we get a lot of benefit. Are we all ready? Okay. So Sri Balaramji, he appeared before Sri Krishna. And the appearance of Balaramji is not always before Krishna. Sometimes before, sometimes after. But the mood is always service. Even one drop of pure love can drown this whole world. What passes off as love in this world is simply lust. Atmendra priti vancha tari boli kam. Krishnendra priti vancha dhari prem nam. The desire to satisfy our own senses is simply lust. And every relationship in this material world, which even passes off as love, is having traces or tinges of lust somewhere or the other, because we don't do anything selflessly. But the love of the spiritual world is completely selfless. A drop of that love can drown the whole world. What to speak of Balaram, who manifests himself at the abode, where this abode manages all the beautiful drops of love. The love that Mother Yashoda has for Krishna as a parent, the love that Subal has for Krishna as a friend, the love that Rattak and Patrak have to Krishna as a servant, the love that even the leaves and the flowers have in Vrindavan for Krishna in neutrality. All this love manifests in the holy abode of Sri Vrindavan. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Gopi Vallabha ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai ki jai. So continuing our discussion on Krishna's childhood pastimes, we can divide Krishna and Balaram's pastimes as a child into 4 main categories. The pastimes which are filled with pleasing talks, Ramyamana. The pastimes which are filled with fear and anxiety. The pastimes which are filled with illusion. And the pastimes which are filled in destruction of the demons. Dushta Damana Leela. 4 categories. Now we'll discuss one pastime each very quickly. The pastimes which have pleasing talks. Krishna and Balaram, they have this habit of constant mimicry. They make fun of everything. They sing like the cuckoos. They try to dance like the peacocks. They try to swim like the swan. They try to walk like the deer. They try to do everything better than that jiva. The cuckoos come and fall at the feet of Krishna, saying that this is the only skill set that you have given us. And now when you do it, you're better than us. Nobody gives any attention to us. The peacocks were dancing, and Krishna comes and dances in front of them, and the peacocks are amazed. Krishna is Nataraj. Yes? Eka kale kotha gela gaura Nataraj. He's the king of all dancers. Rasaraj. Krishna is expert in dancing. When he starts dancing, the peacocks forget to dance. That's how Krishna holds the peacock feather. One time Krishna was dancing, and one peacock felt so happy that this person dances even better than me. What can I offer him? Then he remembered Krishna saying, Patram pushpam phalam toyam. If you offer one leaf or flower or some water or one fruit, I will accept. The peacock fell at the feet of Krishna, saying that all that I have is some feathers. Would you accept one feather? And Krishna always holds that feather on his head. So these pastimes filled with fun. Then there are pastimes filled with fear. When there was fire, the forest fire everywhere, the friends of Krishna were standing in the middle and they didn't know what to do. Krishna, Krishna, Mahavirya, He Rama, Amogha Vikrama. They started calling out to Krishna, Oh Krishna, Mahavira, you're the one who killed Putana. You were the one who killed Trinavarta. You with one touch of your lotus feet could topple Shakatasur. Can you please help us out of this fire? Oh Balaram, your prowess never goes in vain. His name is Balaram, right? Bala means strength. And Rama means he who gives pleasure. So even when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Prabhupada said there are various meanings to the word Rama. When we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we say Rama 4 times. So during Prabhupada's time, devotees had discussions. And one devotee said, this Rama is Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra, the husband of Sita. The other devotee argued saying, no, this is Parashuram. The third person said, no, this is Balaram. And they went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, everything is correct. But the highest understanding is this refers to Krishna. So they were all shocked. How is this Rama referring to Krishna? And Prabhupada explained, Rama means he who gives pleasure. And Krishna has a name called as Radhika Raman, he who gives pleasure to Radharani. So therefore this Rama is Radharaman, Krishna. So in that way, simply the word Rama can mean so many people, including Balaram, including Ramachandra. So this is a second type of pastime, where they are in anxiety and they call out to Krishna and Balaram. The third type of pastime is illusion. We know the very famous story when Brahma, as the creator, he comes to test Krishna, whether he is God. Very famously known as the Brahma Vimohan Leela. And, and Brahma got illusion because he was thinking that he is the Supreme Lord, he is the creator, and Krishna is just a mere child. But when he tested, he tried to kidnap the calves away, he tried to kidnap the friends away, and Krishna manifested himself as the friends. Krishna manifested himself as the cows. Krishna manifested himself as the calves. And now there was something really striking that was happening. Balaram, when he came and he saw, he found that the cows were loving these calves more than their actual children. The cows were loving these calves, which were actually expansions of Krishna, more than loving their own calves. Balaram went to Krishna and said, what is going on? How is this possible? Who are these calves and how are these cows loving these calves more than their own calves? Krishna said, so this is not just Brahma Vimohan Leela, this is even Balaram Vimohan Leela. Even Balaram got illusion because he didn't recognize. So Krishna then had to tell him that Brahmaji came, he tried to test me, so I had to expand myself. We all know that story. So these are pastimes of illusion, where they are so much engrossed in playing that sometimes they, the Supreme Lord themselves, fall in illusion. And the fourth type of pastimes are Dushta Damana Leela, where demons are destroyed. Kamsa used to regularly send demons to Braj Bhumi to kill Krishna and Balaram. To such an extent, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes that was like on the timetable for Krishna and Balaram. After killing the first demon, it's time for breakfast. After killing the second demon, it's time for lunch. You kill the third demon, time to go home. Bye-bye. They didn't have watches. So Kamsa was actually keeping the time for Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna will kill a demon, now it's breakfast. Another demon, now it's lunchtime. So in all the Braja Leelas, there were so many demons vanquished. But there were two main demons that we always speak about as far as Balaram Tattva is concerned. Dhenukasura, the Asura who came in the form of a donkey or an ass, and Pralambhasura, he who disguised himself and tried to play with the friends. Yes? So the Acharyas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they describe that Dhenukasura, because he was a donkey, he represents ignorance, lack of spiritual understanding, because donkeys are generally considered foolish. So those living entities who don't inquire about Krishna, Dhenukasura stands as a personification for them. So Balaram is ready to destroy that tendency. We discussed how Balaram represents Guru Tattva or Guru. And when we take Diksha or initiation, they have two syllables, Di and Ksha. Di means Divya Gyan, transcendental knowledge. So Guru gives transcendental knowledge, and Ksha, which means he destroys our sins. So what is Balaramji doing here? He is destroying Dhenukasur, which means he is destroying Ksha. He is destroying the tendency of being ignorant, and at the same time, he is liberating or giving Divya Gyan to that Asura. How about Pralambhasura? Pralambhasura represents two qualities. On the gross level, he represents lusty tendencies. And it is very difficult to overcome lust. Sometimes people might think that, well, I can do it on my own. But you have great instances of people like Vishwamitra and Shaubhari Muni and Indra and Brahma, and they couldn't overcome. So we can overcome lust only when we take complete shelter of Krishna. Daivi hyesha gunamai mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadhyante mayamitam tarantite. So Pralambhasura on the gross level, he represents lust, and on the subtle platform, he represents this tendency of having prestige, name and fame. That's oftentimes called as subtle sex life, subtle lust. Yes. So Pralambhasura was destroyed, vanquished by Balaram, which also signifies that if we have gross or subtle lust, we can pray to Balaramji, because Balaramji helps us in vanquishing gross and subtle lust. Now, after all these pastimes, then came a time when Krishna and Balaram had to go to Mathura. Krishna appeared in the jail. We know that story in Mathura. And immediately he was taken, Sutam Samadaya, yes, by Vasudeva. He was taken to Gokul Mahavan. Then he lived there for 3 years and 4 months. Then from 3 years to 4 months to 6 years, 8 months, he was living in Vrindavan. Because there were so many demons who were sent by Kamsa. So all the brothers of Nanda Maharaj, they sat together and said, Gokul Mahavan seems very unsafe. Let's go to Vrindavan. So they went to Vrindavan, and they lived there, and the demons still started coming. Then at the age of 6 years and 8 months, they all moved to Nandagram, and they lived there up to 10 years and 7 months. And after that, it was the time when Krishna and Balaram realized it was end of all their Braja Leelas, and they fit enough now to go to Mathura. Externally, they were going, but internally Krishna and Balaram never leave Vrindavan. Vrindavanam parityajya padam ekam na gacchati. Krishna and Balaram never leave Vrindavan. They are always eternally living in Vrindavan. But externally, because they have to kill Kamsa, they have to release Vasudeva and Devaki, and they had to kill Mushtik, Chanur, Kuvalayapid, etc. So therefore they went. Akrura was sent by Kamsa, because Akrura was somebody who was close to Kamsa, and at the same time he was close to Krishna and Balaram, because he was related to Krishna and Balaram. Akrura, this word means he who is not cruel. But when Akrura came to Vrindavan to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, the gopis started crying. Mother Yashoda started crying. Nanda Baba started crying. The friends started crying. To such an extent, Yamuna started flowing backwards. The birds on the branches, they were almost dying with their beaks open, because the nectar of Krishna's lotus form was disappearing. All the living entities in Vrindavan didn't sustain on food, water and shelter. They just sustained on Krishna and Balaram. If you have food, clothing and shelter, but you don't have Krishna, you're poor. But if you have Krishna, even if you don't have food, clothing and shelter, you're rich. So the Brajavasis were simple, but they loved Krishna. They loved Krishna. They had prema. So they couldn't see Krishna being taken away. They just couldn't see Krishna being taken away. So the gopis were falling in front of the Rath, the chariot. Some were holding the reins. Some were hurling abuses at Akrura, saying that you're not Akrura, but you're Krura. You're not somebody who's not cruel. You're actually cruel. Your name says you're not cruel, but you're Krura. You're cruel. Why? Because you're taking life air away. The gopis couldn't live without Krishna. None of the Brajavasis can live without Krishna. So if we really want to be a Brajavasi, if we really want to fall in love with Krishna, this is the qualification. Iti gopyah pragayanta pralapantascha chitradha rurudu suswaram rajan Krishna darshana lalasa. This is the only qualification. The gopis cried for Krishna. They cursed Brahma. They cursed that, what type of creator are you? You made these eyes which blink. When Krishna is standing in front of us, we are wasting our time blinking our eyes. And when Krishna is not there in front of us, we are wasting our time opening our eyes. What type of creator are you? They used to sing, Jayati te adhikam janmana vraja Shayata indira shashvadatrahi Daita drishyatam dikshutavaka Tvaidrita sava tvam vichinvate. In the Gopi Geet, The gopis are crying and they are singing. When Uddhava came to Vrindavan, he couldn't find the house of Krishna. So he asked one of the friends of Krishna, and the friend said, do you see these two rivers? Just follow their path. They'll take you to the house. Because the rivers are actually tears of Nanda and Yashoda. This is the feeling. There are people who come and claim, I saw Krishna in my dream. Prabhupada dismissed all of this. He said the true principle of seeing Krishna is not saying I got Krishna, but is saying when will that day be mine, when I can see Krishna. He Radhe Braja Devi ke chalalite he Nanda Suna Kutha Shri Govardhana Kalpapada Patale Kalindi Vane Kutha Goshantaviti Sarvato Vrajapure Kedair Mahavivvalau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalaka. All the 6 Goswamis cried in this way. And today happens to be the disappearance day of Rupa Goswami. What better occasion can we speak about the intense feeling of separation than this day? Rupa Goswami came to give this Vipralamba Bhav. The gopis couldn't live. The friends couldn't sustain. What is the use of Vrindavan without Krishna? What is Yamuna going to do? The trees in Yamuna, they served Krishna like anything. There used to be times when the tree wanted to express its happiness towards Krishna, wanted to embrace Krishna. But because the tree is in such a body, cannot embrace Krishna. So, in collaboration with the wind, the tree used to shake. And the flowers from the tree fell into the Yamuna. And Yamuna was the carrier. Yamuna took the flowers. And whenever Krishna was washing his face, the flowers came. And Yamuna said, the flowers are coming from that tree. What happens to all of that? What happens to Giri Govardhan? No Krishna, no Balaram. What happens to Nanda and Yashoda? What happens to Srimati Radharani? How can they survive? Can we survive without oxygen? Even if we can survive without oxygen, the Brajavasis cannot survive without Krishna. Oxygen is also a poor example. So finally, Krishna and Balaram were taken. And when Akrura, in fact, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas never speak this pastime because they cannot speak this pastime. How can you speak about Krishna being taken away from Vrindavan? Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayas Tad Dhama Vrindavanam. Mahaprabhu says the greatest personality who is worthy of our worship is Vrindavan Krishna. And the greatest land which is worthy of our worship is Vrindavan. When you take Vrindavan Krishna out of Vrindavan, where our bhakti ends? Our bhakti ends. So the Gaudiya Vaishnavas never speak. So therefore I will just skip this. Then Akrura, he came to Yamuna, and at a place called Akrur Ghat, he took his bath because Yamuna is a very power potent river. And when he stood waist deep and he was chanting his Gayatri mantras, in his meditation, he saw Krishna and Balaram. How did he see Krishna and Balaram? He saw Balaram as Ananta, as a snake coiled and wrapped up. And he saw Krishna as Chaturbhuji Mahavishnu. He saw all the demigods. He saw Indra, he saw Shiva, he saw Brahma. He saw all the wives of the demigods all offering flowers and prayers. And Akrura couldn't believe. He said, how are they here? What are they doing here? Then he immediately put on his clothes and he came out and saw Krishna and Balarama talking on the chariot. They are still there. And Akrura said, wait a minute, I think I saw them here. Then he came back. Again he started meditating. Again he saw. The meaning is, true Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Krishna is always in Vrindavan. When Krishna steps out of Vrindavan, it is the Vasudeva Krishna, the Vishnu potency of Krishna who leaves. And Balaram, when he leaves Vrindavan, Balaram is always in Vrindavan, but the expansion that leaves is Ananta. So they are giving a glimpse to Akrura, because you're such a pure devotee, we are always in Vrindavan. We are enjoying these pastimes. But what is leaving us is the Vishnu Tattva. So going ahead in this pastime, they enter Mathura, and Kamsa has very nicely strategies before the Dhanush Yajna or the Dhanur Yajna, the sacrificial bow arena. Before they enter that, there is Kuvalaya Pida, the mad elephant. Krishna just powders him, and Balaram uproots the tusk and uses that as a weapon to fight. Chanur and Mushtik are sent. Krishna and Balaram take a humble position, and then tell Chanur and Mushtik, y'all are so powerful, we can't fight y'all. We are children, we are just 11 years old, what can we do? And Chanur and Mushtik are telling Krishna and Balaram, don't think we are fools. We have heard of all your pastimes, destroying Arishtasur, Bakasur, Dhenukasur, Putana, Shakatasur, Trinavarta. Y'all are special. So now it's fine, let's fight. Krishna defeats Chanur, Balaram finishes Mushtik. And now Balaram is still angry of the fact that Kamsa actually killed the 6 children. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes how Balaram goes ahead to take revenge. Using the tusk of Kuvalaya Pid, he goes and murders 8 brothers of Kamsa. He said, if you kill 6 of my brothers, I will kill 8 of your brothers. Krishna just drags Kamsa and makes a mess there in front of his own leaders there in Mathura who have come to cheer for him. Then after that pastime is described, Shukadev Goswami describes of how Krishna and Balaram go and release Vasudeva and Devaki. What a wonderful meeting that was. This was the first time Vasudeva and Devaki are seeing Balaram face to face, because Balaram was in the womb of Devaki and transferred into the womb of Rohini. They have never seen Balaram. So as Balaram came, although he was 11, 12 years old, Devaki was overwhelmed. It's my child. You are the one who was in my womb who was transferred. You're Sankarshan. You're Ananta. You're Baladev. You're Balaram. And Krishna comes and looks at Vasudeva and Devaki. But the first emotion that they have is awe and reverence. God. Krishna and Balaram are God. They're finishing everyone. They have killed Kamsa. They're definitely God. Krishna starts thinking, I don't like these jnani mother and father. I don't like mother and father who are too contemplative. I want mother and father who are going to embrace me, who are filled with vatsalya ras, who are going to kiss me. So what Krishna did when Vasudeva and Devaki were thinking like this, that Krishna and Balaram are God, Krishna started crying. Krishna started crying, and immediately Devaki felt, no, if he's God, he won't cry. So therefore he's not God. And embraced Krishna and Balaram. And then they were under the care and protection of Devaki and Vasudeva. Vasudeva, being a very responsible father, he spoke to Devaki and said, these 2 children have just played and frolicked till now. They haven't learnt anything. They have never gone to school. So first thing, what we should do is we should give them Diksha mantras. So they were initiated by Bhagori Rishi. And Gargacharya was also one of the Siksha Gurus. And Krishna and Balaram were given the sacred thread. Then they were sent to Ujjain, the northern part of India, to the ashram of Sandipani Muni. This is the place where Krishna happens to meet Sudama. We all know the famous story of Krishna and Sudama, right? The friends. Where did they meet? This is the place. So from the age, so we discussed, from 0 to 3 years, 4 months, Krishna was staying in Gokul Mahavan. From 3 years, 4 months to 6 years, 8 months, he was living in Braja, Vrindavan. Then from 6 years, 8 months to 10 years, 7 months, he was living in Nandagram. At the age of 10, 11, he left, went to Mathura, and remained in Mathura till the time he was 28. Then he left for Dwaraka. So in Mathura also, he was learning under Sandipani Muni. And Sandipani Muni, at the end of all the teachings that he taught, he asked for Guru Dakshina. All the teachers ask for some pay, right? Something in return as a reciprocation. So Sandipani Muni said, there has to be Guru Dakshina. So Krishna and Balaram said, what can we do for you, Gurudev? So Sandipani Muni said, I will ask Guru Patni. I'll ask Guru Mata, your Guru Mata, and let me see what she says. When he asks his wife, she says, we lost our son. Can Krishna and Balaram revive our lost son? That's a challenge. So Krishna and Balaram went to Varuna, the ocean, because the son actually had drowned. So they went to Varuna and they said that, give the child back. Many years ago, our teacher, Sandipani Muni, lost his son. Give the son back, or else we'll dry you up. Krishna says, Bhumi rapo analo vayu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakriti rashthada. He says, earth, water, fire, air, ether are all my, energies. So therefore, he can just dry it up. Just like he swallowed the forest fire when it misbehaved. Krishna gives fire the ability to burn, but when that fire misused his ability to burn Krishna's own associates, Krishna swallowed it back. You don't deserve to be here. So Krishna said, I can dry all your water. Then Varuna said, what could we do? I mean, I don't have. There's a demon staying underwater by the name Panchajanya. He's in the shape of a conch shell. You have to fight him. So Balaram goes underwater and he finishes Panchajanya. He asks Panchajanya, where's the son of Sandipani Muni? Panchajanya says, I also don't have. You have to go and speak to Yamaraj. Of course, Balaram didn't kill him, but he defeated him up to the point of death and said, now you tell me where that son is. So then, as Panchajanya said, the son is at Yama's abode. They went to Yamaraj's kingdom. And then they asked Yamaraj. Yamaraj said, I took that son only with that hope that you all will come and ask and I can serve you. I wouldn't have taken the son if I had known you all aren't planning to come. Because I know if I take the son back, you all are going to study at Sandipani Muni's ashram. He might ask for dakshina and you all might come to me just for that service, my lord. I'm here. See, he returns the son. They give the son back to Sandipani Muni and his wife. And when all this is happening, Jarasandha, the father-in-law of Kamsa, yes, Kamsa's wife is Keshni, and Keshni's father is Jarasandha. So Jarasandha is making diplomatic plans, says revenge, right? This emotion of vengeance or revenge is demoniac. Devotees don't have it. Devotees are paradukha dukhi. You hurt me, that's okay. I will never hurt you. Yes? So they never take revenge. But Jarasandha, he wanted to take revenge. If Krishna and Balaram kill my son-in-law, who's Kamsa, and murder all his brothers, I have to kill Krishna and Balaram. So Jarasandha attacks Mathura. Krishna and Balaram return back to Mathura, keep Ugrasen as the king, and Jarasandha attacks Mathura. Now when he attacks Mathura, Krishna starts fighting single-handedly. And he creates rivers of blood. Shukadeva Goswami describes. Rivers of blood. And Balaram is still a silent spectator. Then he joins the show. And when Balaram joins the show, the river becomes an ocean. The river of blood becomes an ocean of blood. Because Balaram is Haladhara. Yes? He has two astra, or two weapons. What are they? The club and the plow. So, Namaste Halagramam, Namaste Mushalayuda, Namaste Revati Kantha, Namaste Krishna Purvaja, Trahimam Krishna Purvaja. So, Balaram starts killing all of that. But Jarasandha's life is still spared. Jarasandha runs back. Then he prepares his army again attacks. Again he is defeated, again he runs away. Again he prepares his army, again he attacks. Again his army is vanquished, again he runs away. And Jarasandha shamelessly attacks Krishna and Balaram in Mathura 17 times. 1-7. And the 18th time when he attacked, Krishna ran away from the battlefield. And Jarasandha, the demon, was thinking, finally Krishna is scared of me. But Krishna has a name called as Ranchod because he ran away from the battlefield. Krishna was like, you're shameless. You're attacking 17 times and again you're going to be killed. Again you're going to be defeated rather. So I at least have shame. Let's not do this again and again. If you don't run away, I'm going to run away. So this was the point where Krishna and Balaram are performing so many beautiful pastimes, leaving Vrindavan, and now they are in Mathura. At this point, we'll just stop because the class goes up to 7. Yes? So it was pretty short today. But anyway, I'll just stop here. Now we're going to have a very beautiful swing festival called as Radha Govinda Julan or Radha Gopi Vallabha Julan. And this is a very beautiful pastime where Radha and Krishna sit on the same swing and they actually swing in this beautiful pastime of pure love. What great fortune that today, being the disappearance of Rupa Goswami, who is an intimate maidservant of Radha and Krishna, we are having this fortune of being in this material world and still participating in the swing festival of Radha and Krishna. What we aspire to do after death, we are getting a chance to do that now. So on that note, let's be in the right mood and in the right attitude, always serving Krishna, hearing about Krishna, and loudly chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you so much for being part of this nectarian flow of Hari Katha, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to serve you. Shri Shri Krishna Balarama ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.